Earlier, Brian, you brought up Jacob Lacey and how he was injured, and you almost forgot about Jacob Lacey. And that's nothing against Jacob Lacey. It's because the depth was so good at the position that he wasn't necessarily missed. Now, a healthy Jacob Lacey, that's another story. So he missed last year basically because of injury. This year, how do you see him fitting into this rotation?
Yeah, now he played last year, right? Let's be clear. He did play last year. He just wasn't himself, and he didn't play as much as I expect him to play. And Vincent, I know as much as you expect him to play because
I like watching him play.
Yeah,
honestly.
he was banged up. You know, had a shoulder. I believe it was a shoulder at one point, knee at another point. Had a health illness at another. It was just a rough year for him. You know, just one of those years for him.
Battling.
Yeah, and so but he kept going out there, and he's the kind of guy that to me, I think he better fits the nose of this position. But I think this defensive shift could be good for him because I think he's an athletic player that can be a penetrator and a disruptor, and he's got a bigger body than like Howard Cross, for example. So, those are the next two guys in nose guard behind Kurt Hinish. It's Jacob Lacey and Howard Cross. Well, Howard Cross is like 265, 270 pounds. He's got to be a penetrator. And I think that really the main reason he's a nose tackle is just because that's the only place that he can get on the field. He's not going to be beating out Jason Adamiola and Riley Mills. At least he better not. That would be bad for those guys.
Sure.
But he's not a natural nose guard. And so I think with Howard Cross, you want Howard Cross to be a 10 to 12 snap per game guy. And then when he's in there for that 10, 12, maybe 15 snaps, you want him just, everything just go. Just give me everything you got.
Sure.
Because he's not someone that can do everything you need a nose guard to do. He can't two gap on the instances where you need him to two gap. He can't necessarily just drive right into a center and rock him back the way that a bigger nose guard can to open up maybe a double inside stunt kind of thing. You're limited in the kind of calls you can make with him in the game. You have to use him as more of a penetrator. And so I just feel like Jacob Lacey is the key to me to them then getting the most out of Howard Cross. Because I think if Howard Cross has to play 30 snaps a game, then you're in a situation where he's going to wear down faster.
Sure.
Which is going to make him less effective. He's one of those guys that on a lower volume, greater intensity, I think is where you could really see him be productive just because of his size. I mean, 6'1.5", 265, 270 pounds. That's just not a nose guard that you want to be throwing out there for 40 snaps if you're trying to beat Ohio State or Alabama. But can you get him out there for 10 to 12 snaps and tell him that, like his hair's on fire, just give me everything you got? Yeah. But you can't do that if Jacob Lacey's not healthy and playing to his potential. And Jacob Lacey, to me, has playmaker potential. We saw some of it as a freshman.
No question.
But he just I think he's a big injury question mark right now because I don't know if he's fully healed from the things that banged him up last year. And he's got to go out and kind of reassert himself in the depth chart. Like, hey, we're not the only ones that kind of forgot about him kind of thing. Like, look, you need to remind people why he was your top defensive line recruit in that class. You need to remind people why he was a guy that was such an important part of your nose guard rotation as a freshman in 2019 and stay on the field. That's going to be the big key because, if he has another offseason where he's not healthy and banged up, there's people there. I mean, Aiden is a guy that we're going to talk about in a minute, but there's bodies there. There's things they can do that will make it harder for him to then get back. So he has to hope he can stay healthy and then get back to being productive. He's got to be hungry this offseason. And I'm not saying he won't be, but there's a lot of competition at that spot. And Notre Dame is in a position as a program where they don't have to bring along a guy like him because there's so many other options. Like, hey, if he's just not there, he's not there. It is what it is. We've got other people that are ready to play. So it's a big spring for him. And for me, it's a big spring for the nose guard position in general because of him. Because a healthy and motivated Jacob Lacey, who's playing to his potential, now that he's going to his junior year, gives this front four a really potent weapon to have. And now you put him and Kurt Hinish at their best in a 1-2 punch at nose guard. Good luck with that. And then that makes the three techniques even more productive. It makes the linebackers more productive because you got to really handle these nose guards that are just hitting you in the face and shooting gaps and all that. And then I got to worry about Drew White and Bo Bauer and Shane Simon and Maris Luafau blitzing now. Like, come on, this isn't right, But he's one of the biggest question marks of the defensive line because he's got to prove he can stay. And even as a freshman, he wasn't fully healthy. I mean, he's kind of been just battling thing after thing after thing. And if he needs to be healthy and the light needs to go on, because he could be a difference maker inside for this group.